You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Boy, oh boy, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is your Locked On Phillies Postcast and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Great to have you along for the ride. I hate the world. I hate the whole world right now, as a matter of fact. Not only did the Phillies blow a 3-0 lead against the hapless, terrible, disgusting, awful, ugly Miami Marlins, but Kyle Schwarber, who was in left field today because Rob Thomson still wants to break him in a little bit and have him play in the field so that JT Realmuto could possibly be a designated hitter when he eventually comes back from the IL. He ends up pulling a groin in the game, his groin in the game, of course. Rob Thomson then takes him out of the game immediately, according to Rob Thomson, right after the Phillies game today. And then on the last play of the game, Bryce Harper hits a little dribbler and pulls up lame. I mean, he stepped on the bag. He pulled up lame after he stepped on the first base bag, and it looked like he grabbed his left hamstring and started hopping around the field. So not only is this a gut punch with a great start from Zack Wheeler being ruined in the 7th inning when he was trying to give you at least 7 scoreless innings in this game, he gets the gut punch by a horrible call by the home plate umpire. And then it costs him 7 scoreless. It cost the Phillies a 3-0 lead. And you get that gut punch from Matt Strahm, of all people, who has been your best bullpen arm all season. Jeff Hoffman comes into the game. Junior Marte, I forgot he existed. He was in the game. And the Phillies end up wetting the bed big time. But the bigger story in all of this is what is going on with Bryce Harper. Is he okay? So I delayed the show a couple of minutes, and I wanted to see what Rob Thomson had to say after the game. Wanted to hear it from I wanted to hear it with my own 2 ears. And Rob Thomson basically said, I got nothing. That's what he said. There'll be more information tomorrow. Nothing to really update on until tomorrow. So I guess that beats the hell out of like, hey, what happened to Bryce Harper's leg? Well, it fell off. Once he got to the dugout, it just fell off. And that was nothing you can do there. So at least it wasn't that. And as far as Kyle Schwarber went, he said it wasn't necessarily on the play that he made on the go-ahead double by Bell, where he was going back to the wall to get the ball. It looks like he pulled up a little bit there. But even after that, when Edmundo Sosa made a weird play, I guess Schwarber was in pursuit to back up the shortstop in that situation. In the second, Rob Thomson found out about Kyle Schwarber having a hurt groin and decided to take him out of the ball game. So other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Well, pretty terrible. But you know what's great? The people that bring us our fine programs. That's right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. And tonight, it's none other than Booking.com. This episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan in any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. That's right, Booking.com, Booking.yeah. Let's start it off with 3 big things. Well, number 1 and 1A are Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. Let me just... And I know as I was waiting, and I don't know if you guys had the same thought I did, but I had this thought, and I know my man Michael Barkan, when he was getting ready to introduce the press conference, he had the same thought as well. Ryan Howard against the Cincinnati Reds. Pretty simple. It wasn't just the fact that you lost that game and your season was over, where Ryan Howard pulled up lame running down the first baseline. Didn't even make it down the first baseline. Harper made it to first base. But Ryan Howard was never the same player after that injury. And I'm not saying this is the same thing. I'm just saying it made you feel in a similar way. I know Michael Barkan thought the same thing. I thought the same thing, and you might have had that same thought. Once I saw somebody pulling up lame, running down the first base line, they're first out of the ball game, and last out of the ball game, and it's someone of the status of Bryce Harper, who could be the MVP of the league this year. It doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel pretty terrible. It makes you feel sick to your stomach. And that's how I feel right now doing this post-game show. So I just want to put it out there on the table for you. And then number 2 on this list is, how do you blow a 3-0 lead to the Miami Marlins of all teams? This team sucks. And I don't want to hear anything about a divisional game. And look, I could rail on the home plate umpire, and I could, say what a terrible job he did. And don't get me wrong, he was god-awful terrible in this one. He was awful for both sides. I think I heard John Kruk say it during the broadcast. He was pretty terrible for both sides. But what really got me was in that 7th inning, Zack Wheeler was dealing. Should have been done with his start at 109 pitches. He got Gordon the fly out there in the 7th inning for the first out. Then Anderson goes up there, grounds out to short, and then up to the plate with 2 outs in the inning is Lopez. Lopez gets a 2-out single to center field. Then Ali Sanchez steps up to the plate. He hits a single to center field as part of a 10-pitch at bat. So here's what was so crazy about that 10-pitch at bat. Wheeler should have been done, like I said, at 109 pitches. And his 109th pitch was a gorgeous. It was a beautiful. It was a Renaissance oil painting of a pitch on the outside corner of the plate. 96 miles per hour. He paints that outside corner. Rembrandt wishes he could have done stuff like that. And home plate umpire Emil Jimenez behind the plate tonight. Ball. It got every ounce of the outside corner of the plate. Like, for me, it wasn't even like, it was a great pitch. It was a great pitch, but it was without question a strike. It wasn't even like the outer half of the baseball just nipped the zone. It was mostly in the zone. Ball. Should have been out of the inning. Should have been done. And I think it was the third or fourth pitch of the at-bat. Anyway, it goes on for 6 more pitches, 10 pitches in total, and it's won by Ali Sanchez getting the single to center field. So that kind of sucked. And then Wheeler came out. Strahm came in, faces Chisholm. He ends up hitting him, loads the bases with 2 outs, and then De La Cruz delivers the gut punch of a game-tying 3-run triple to left field. Then Bell followed, of all people, Matt Strahm. And then Bell came up. 2 of the runs were charged, of course, to Zack Wheeler because the runner on first, Chisholm in that case, was charged to Strahm, who hit him. And then Bell came up and put the RBI double to left field. That's the one that Schwarber was trying to pursue but could not get to it. And then it ended up being a 4-3 game, and then they get Myers to strike out to end it. And then the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th inning comes in. The Phillies are able to tie it on the Alec Boehm sac fly RBI. That was a little too close for comfort, Trey Turner trying to score on that play, and he did score on that play. I thought he was going to score easily. I heard Kruk say the same thing during the broadcast. I was glad I wasn't the only one that went, because I saw Trey, and what have I been saying for the last couple of shows here? Is Trey Turner okay? Because I am worried about Trey Turner. It does not look like he can get into overdrive. And not even a little right now. That's concerning. Gingerly rolling around the bases there in Detroit, and then gingerly scampering home on a sac fly RBI to right field that I thought was plenty deep enough for Trey Turner, of all people, to score. And it ended up being close to a bang-bang play there at home. But he was safe. Ended up tying the game 4-4. They gave it right back. I think I hate this Burger guy. I think I do hate him. Yeah. Not like in a real hate, but like a sports hate type of way, right? Hits the home run, gives the Marlins a 5-4 lead, and then they tack on to that. Thanks a lot, Jeff Hoffman. It was awful. It was disgusting. So 1 and 1A are obviously Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, their health, their status going forward. Number 2, Zack Wheeler given a hell of a start, a hell of a performance. And then, unfortunately, the Marlins got to him, Matt Strahm, Jeff Hoffman later in the game. So I guess if I had to say a third big thing, it's what the hell happened with this bullpen. Matt Strahm's been incredible. Jeff Hoffman, for the majority of the season, has been pretty damn good as well. And they get to these guys. Junior Marte comes in, and all of a sudden I got to have confidence in him getting out of this too? Oh, baby. No, I don't think so. It was a really, really bad 7th, 8th, 9th innings for the Phillies. And I thought that you were going to be able to get out of it with that great pitch by Wheeler. Now, here's the deal. I never like to blame umpires for anything. I don't like to. Can I acknowledge a terrible call and how it changed the outcome of the game? Certainly. But the Phillies didn't do themselves any favors in terms of looking at that as an excuse. They were god-awful after that pitch was not called a strike. It wasn't just that pitch. I mean, you want to talk about, you have a 3-run lead at that point. You're up 3-0. You have 2 outs. You have Zack Wheeler still on the hill. And then you're going to give the ball to a guy that could be an all-star in Matt Strahm? And he's the guy that gets tattooed? Look, you can obviously go back to it and say, oh, if that was a strike, you're out of it. And then you could have Strahm come in without having to come in the middle of an inning. You pitch the 8th inning, and maybe it's a whole different thing. He doesn't have anybody on base. And then you just hand the ball over to Hoffman or Alvarado, and you're still up 3-0. Maybe you still get that extra run. It's a 4-0 game. The hell with that. The Marlins are not a good enough team to fall apart in the way that the Phillies fell apart in this game. Was the call terrible? God-awful. But the Phillies are really going to allow that pitch to be the iceberg to their Titanic season? I certainly hope not. Not to the Titanic season they've been having, but just to this game, isolated game. Not that this is going to sink them for the whole season. But with the injuries, you don't know. As I knock on wood. So, gut punch to say the absolute least when it comes to this game. Love to hear what you guys have to say about this. We'll get your take on it coming up in just a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Back in a second. You guys know how much I appreciate Tax Network USA. Put these guys to work a couple of years ago. It helped me out big time, saved me some big bucks. And here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia, we always pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, whether it's the draft, whether it's spring training, whether it's the playoffs, whatever the case may be, it's always year-round. That's in a good way. But you know what else is year-round? Collections season. That's all right. The IRS comes after you. And just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. You guys have heard me say this. I'll say it again. In this business, you can have a lot of different paychecks from a lot of different people, a lot of different companies, right? So you want to give it to somebody you trust. I trusted the wrong people, and it came back to get me. Thanks to Tax Network USA, though, I didn't end up paying as much as I was originally charged. So thank you very much, Tax Network USA. They helped me. They helped you. They could help you, too. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, whether you have complicated matters that require tax planning like this guy, or finally hit that parlay this season, and you need help correctly filing your taxes, call 1-800-549-1000. That's 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com. That's tnusa.com/lockedon. tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in the episode description below for more information. That's Tax Network USA. eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, style, all of the above, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for with eBay Motors. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need and the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP. Bring home huge wins with eBay Motors. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. All right. So I got the gut punch still going. Before I get to the chat, I want to see if I could maybe bring some better information to the table here. Let's see what we have going on here. Nope. Still nothing. Still nothing. Waiting to see the beat reporters, see if they work some magic, get a little inside information to put out there to the general pop, right? And let's try to give it to you guys if I get it. But looking at it right now, nope, nothing. Guess we'll all just lose sleep tonight on whether or not Bryce Harper's okay and Kyle Schwarber's groin's just fine and dandy. Yeah, okay, we'll all get this through together, right? We'll all get through this together. Let's get into our chat and see how you guys are doing. IBH Phooey. Dan and Sue Harris. Hello, Dan and Sue. I hope you guys are watching together. Dan and Sue Harris. The Mr. and Mrs., I presume? Well, this is quite shocking. Yeah, it's terrible. John Marinelli, absolute clown show. I concur. Joseph Klinger. At work, yelling at my computer. Those are always nice moments. I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. Joseph Klinger saying disappointing loss. Absolutely. John Marinelli, how novel an idea. How about they sign some outfielders who are everyday players? So, okay, let's just, John, let's simmer in this for a minute. Let's stew in this for a moment, okay? Do the Phillies now overpay? I don't even want to get into it, but let's say this is going to be a while. Let's say like Trey Turner was out, what, a month and a half? Kyle Schwarber, don't know. If it's a similar hamstring injury, you never know. When it comes to Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, like I said, was about a month and a half, right? So does this make the Phillies go all in with trying to get guys now? Whether that's Luis Robert Jr. or whoever. I know this isn't the name you want to hear, but is Johan Rojas going to get called back up to be another outfielder? Is Edmundo Sosa going to have to play in the outfield? Is Trey Turner going to have to go to the outfield? What the hell's going to happen with this team? Spiral out of control. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm not afraid to admit this. I am going to be losing sleep over this. Because for me personally, it really dictates the way the rest of my summer's going to go. But yeah, it's kind of sucks. We're all in waiting. Timothy B, what's going on? From what I've read earlier, the home plate umpire was pure garbage tonight. That is correct. Babs, Barbara Carroll, what's going on? Farzy, why was Kyle in left field anyway? I thought we agreed he can't play the field ever. So, Babs, you and I agree on this. I don't ever want to see him in the outfield. He is a designated hitter. Hey, Bryce, thanks for learning first base, but we're still going to have him play left field. Instead of having you as a designated hitter on the reg, we're going to have Kyle Schwarber play left field a little bit, and then we're going to let somebody else be the designated hitter. Yeah. But thanks for learning first base. The reason he's there, and I don't think this is the worst thing in the world, but being that he got hurt, it makes me not like it. JT Realmuto has a knee injury. He's a catcher. He's a knee injury. I'll say it again. He's a catcher who has a knee injury. So he's going to be squatting quite a bit. The Phillies are going to want his bat back in the lineup. And I know Rafael Marchand hit a home run. That's great. Love to see it. But bottom line is you're going to want JT Realmuto back in this lineup. And the only way you're going to get him back in the lineup and keep that bat back in the lineup and also get him back behind the plate is if most likely you limit him behind the plate a little bit. Not where he's your DH 4 days a week, but maybe once, maybe twice he's a DH. And you either have Marchand or Stubbs behind the plate, whoever the Phillies keep. That's the way I see this kind of playing out. So Rob Thomson's thought in this is I'm going to put Kyle Schwarber in left when he was in left field Saturday he was in left field. They won 12-1. It's going to happen every once in a while. This is only the third time, I believe it was this season, that he was in left field. And the reason they're doing that is because of JT Realmuto and whatever status, whatever health he's going to have, how healthy he's going to be when he comes back. They want to make sure that they have somebody else broken in left field so that somebody else could be your your designated hitter from time to time. That's why they're doing it. Timothy B, what's going on? Well, this might force Dabrowski to make some moves before the trade deadline. You and I are on the same page, Timothy B. And why in the hell was Schwarber playing in the outfield? The manager moron, despite their record. Ryan Campbell, and this is why Kyle doesn't play in the field. I agree. Schwarber should not be playing in the outfield at all. Thomson manages as if he believes he has won 3 World Series, and he is just an average, slightly above average manager. Timothy B, I 1,000,000,000% agree with you. The thing that makes Rob Thomson a good manager has more to do with how he handles the clubhouse as opposed to how he handles strategy. I like Rob Thomson. I don't like how Rob Thomson manages the bullpen being one of them. I understand the philosophy behind Kyle Schwarber being in the outfield, but when you have guys like Nick Castellanos, you have guys like Christian Pache, for instance. I'm thinking of guys that mostly Castellanos, who has at least started to turn it on a little bit hitting-wise. I forget the numbers coming into today's game, but they were pretty damn good over his last 10 games. Coming into today's last 10 games, 325 average, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, OPS of 939, slugging at a 575 rate. So he's at least coming into his own. Christian Pache, you need him out there for his defense above all else. But my point is this. Christian Pache is not an everyday center fielder. He's not an everyday ball player. So you're going to compound that problem right now, and I guess take kind of a win for granted against the Marlins and say, hey, you're going to get away with having Kyle Schwarber in left field in this one. I did find it very odd that he did it a week ago, less than a week ago, and now he's doing it again. That was odd. I did not like that. Ryan Campbell, you lose Harper and Kyle for any extended period of time, we're in trouble. I agree. Babs, Farzy, there's too many DH types on this team, and I'm counting Harper in that. That's a great point. Dan and Sue Harris. Hello, Dan and Sue Harris. One thing I learned tonight, I know my phone can't fly. He gave it quite a toss in the 7th inning, and it just went to the floor. Go figure. Dan and Sue Harris, I picture each of you typing a word at a time. That's what I picture. Ryan, how the Braves, blah, blah, blah. Farzy look better at night. Babs, a regular listener of my daily podcast. Babs, thank you. I look better at night. God bless you. Thank you so much. What else do we have here? IBH, what's going on, IBH? This is like when Wentz was injured against the Rams. Best record in the game and headed for the MVP. I hope so, but not in the way. No, hold on a second. Let me retract. Hold on. That ended with the championship. So regardless, I hope they don't lose Harper, but if they do, they would still win a World Series. That's the way it works, right? John Marinelli, bring on robo-umps. Yeah. As soon as humanly possible. I am all for robot umpires. I am all for the electronic strike zone that we all watch every game to be the strike zone. I'm ready for that now. I've been ready for that. It was like, no DH, no runner on second, no pitch clock. Oh, I'm seeing it. Oh, this works. I like it all. So now I'm just like, I refer to myself as a non-practicing baseball traditionalist. So, I used to, robo-ump's not human error. And I'm like, no, human error kind of sucks. So, bring on the robo-umps. Zach Paletta, what's going on? The Phillies love proving people wrong and love to not prove us right. Zach, put that on a t-shirt. That's awesome. Oh, God. Babs reporting live. Just saw the interview with Harper after the game. He doesn't know what a pulled or strained hamstring feels like because he's never had it before. Oh, dear God. Spurgeon King. Holy pots and pans. Why was Schwarber in left field over Marshy when he just went 4 for 4? Right? That's a great point. Elaine's just learning this. Hello, Elaine. Nice to see you. Oh, my God. How bad are they hurt? We don't know yet. I'll say it again for the people that didn't hear it the first time. So I waited to start the show because I wanted to hear from Rob Thomson after the game. Rob Thomson said after the game, very simply, he doesn't know. He has no update. He has to wait till tomorrow. And that's all he's got. But according to Babs here in the chat, once again, Harper after the game said that he's never pulled a hamstring, strained a hamstring, so he doesn't know how that feels. The season was going almost too well. Spurgeon King, what's going on? People responsible for the robo-ump oil changes will be current umps and will get the same results. People responsible for robo-umps oil changes will be the current umps and you'll get the same results. I'm picturing the Tin Man. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. No, my mouth. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Strike. Anyway, all right, when we come back, we'll take a look around the internet real quick again, see if there's any more news. And then we'll take a look at tomorrow for our next huge, embarrassing failure. Yeah. We'll be back in a second. Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Oh, I am so excited to tell you guys about Booking.com. Booking.yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've secretly always wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're talking about your rivals cities, for instance. I remember a baseball road trip me and my buddies went on a couple of years ago. Now, I grew up, obviously, a Phillies fan. My mom is from Baltimore, so I've always hated the Yankees, too. I've always hated the Red Sox and all that stuff, but I've admired their stadiums from afar as a baseball fan. So went down to Baltimore, stayed with Mom and Pop in Baltimore, to be honest with you. Stayed with my grandparents in Baltimore. My friends, it was great. But then we went to New York to take on a game with the Bronx Bombers at Yankee Stadium. Booking.com could not have made it easier to book our hotel room. It was perfect. Then we made a trip up to Fenway Park, go up to Fenway up there in Boston. Booking.com took great care of us, made it so easy to find the right hotel room for me and my buddies so that we could stay in a great place while we took in a ball game at Fenway Park. If you're going to maybe explore down in Miami, if you're going to maybe explore down in Atlanta, when the Phillies go down there to face the Braves, it's all right there at Booking.com. Booking.com, Booking.com. Yeah, from hotels that look over stadiums to family-friendly resorts, Booking.com has so many choices across the United States for the summer travel this baseball season. The right stay, can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. I will admit, I loved Boston. I love New York. I always had been down to Atlanta a number of times. Great people. With the exception of the Braves. I still don't like the Braves, but it is what it is. But with the right stay, can make you a fan of that city, and Booking.com can make that stay just right for you. Booking today on Booking.com on the site or in the Booking.com app. Booking.com, Booking.yeah. Oh, how about LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling tougher than you thought it was going to be? It's tougher than before right now. And that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively and efficiently prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals, such as job changes, which also accounts for what accounts you should really prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that you're most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data enabling to unlock conversations with people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. That's linkedin.com/lockedon. All right, as promised, we're going to make one more stroll around the old interweb, and still nothing. Still nothing on an update right there. So I wanted to make sure I gave you guys everything as much as possible right here. Eric, I'm surprised this took so long. There's only a matter of time because Philly sports can have no nice things. Even in years they go finally pull through. Philly never makes it easy. That is true. That is true. I'm very worldly because I can do the Boston accent. Yeah, I've had my experience. Hey, Fazetta, I like your beard. You got a nice beard. Anyway, coming up tomorrow, game 2 of this 4. Don't forget, this is a 4-game series with the Miami Marlins. The fireworks going on right now in South Philadelphia. But the Phillies and Marlins will be back at it tomorrow night. Phillies are going to look to bounce back from this game 1 loss in the 4-game set. Again, a 6:20 start time. Kyle Tyler gets the start, right-handed pitcher for the Marlins. Christopher Sanchez, of course, the lefty, will be going for the Phils. Kyle Tyler, 27 years old, right-handed arm, just going to be making his his third appearance of the season, just his second start of the season. For the full year, he's only got 6 innings under his belt. I'm wondering if there's going to be an opening situation. In his last game, which was going to be 5 days ago, was against Seattle. He went 4 innings, allowing 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits. He did give up a homer on that one, and he walked 3. So a little bit of patience from the Phils might help him out. Christopher Sanchez gets the ball for the Phils, 5-3 with a 2.67 ERA. He is coming off 7 scoreless against the Arizona Diamondbacks last Sunday. He's gone 7 innings in each of his last 2 starts, surrendering just 1 earned run over his last 14 innings of work. Keep it coming, Christopher Sanchez. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Really hope that we hear nothing but good news early tomorrow when it comes to Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. I'm Mark Farzetta. Catch you guys tomorrow night after the Phillies hopefully bounce back against these fish. See you then.